Tyrell had worked the night shift for almost 6 months at a burger joint on the edge of St. Louis, right off a highway exit barely lit by flickering street lamps. It wasn't glamorous, it wasn't exciting, but it paid the bills. The overnight hours were usually slow truckers, college kids on late-night runs, and the occasional lost traveler. Tyrell didn't mind. He actually liked the quiet. The fryer hissed behind him. The smell of old grease lingered. Every hour or so, a tired voice buzzed through the intercom, and he'd go through the motions. But something about that night was different. The air felt heavy, like the world was holding its breath. At 1:58 a.m., the buzzer on the drive-thru crackled to life. He turned to the screen, expecting a half-sober college student wanting fries. Instead, there was just breathing. Soft, hollow, a slow inhale, then a long, strained exhale. Welcome to Burger Stop, Tyrell said, trying to sound casual. Can I take your order? Silence. He waited, still just breathing. No response. He leaned closer to the speaker, squinting through the monitor. Ma'am, you okay? Nothing. Then, without a word, the car rolled forward. Tyrell stepped to the window. He wasn't sure what he expected to see. Maybe a broken intercom or someone having a bad night. What he saw instead made his chest tighten. It was an old blue sedan, rust curling round the edges, the engine idling softly. The headlights were off, the license plate missing. Inside sat a woman, motionless. She didn't look at him. She didn't move at all, just stared straight ahead, her mouth slightly open. Her skin was a pale gray, like dried clay. Her hair, long and tangled, fell over her shoulders like it hadn't been brushed in years, and her eyes there were no pupils, just a cloudy, milky glaze, like her soul had been washed out long ago. Tyrell froze. Then, without turning to him, she whispered in a voice like sand scraping across concrete. You're not supposed to be here. The words hit him like a gut punch, and before he could respond, the car jerked forward and vanished into the night. No lights, no sound, swallowed by the dark road. Tyrell didn't sleep when his shift ended. He drove straight home, locked the door, and sat in silence. Her voice echoed in his head, that raspy whisper, those words. He replayed it again and again. You're not supposed to be here. The next night, he told his manager. Then the police officers came by. They checked the security footage, but when they pulled it up, there was no car, just Tyrell standing at the window, talking to empty space. They rewound it again. Same thing. The blue sedan never showed up. Maybe it was just fatigue, one of the officers said, shrugging. You've been working nights for a while. Tyrell insisted he wasn't hallucinating. He described the car in detail. He remembered the peeling paint on the door, the missing license plate, the broken rearview mirror hanging by a thread. Most of all, he remembered her eyes. Still, there was nothing on the footage. No tire marks, no sign anyone had ever been there. The cops didn't push further. They filed a report, half smiling, and left. Tyrell called his mother that night. She listened quietly, then told him, some spirits don't let go easy. Sometimes they linger, especially if they died angry. He didn't know what to believe, but the fear didn't go away. 2 days later, the news broke. An old blue sedan was pulled from the Mississippi River just south of the city. The body inside was identified as Lorraine Weller, a woman who had gone missing nearly 6 years ago. According to the initial report, her car had skidded off a bridge during a rainstorm. The river had swallowed the vehicle. No one found a trace of it until now. Her body was badly decomposed, but the coroner noted something strange. Her eye sockets were completely empty. No tissue, no eyeballs, just dark, hollow pits. Tyrell's heart dropped when he saw her picture on the news. It was her, the same woman, same face, same tangled hair, same empty stare. Only now, her mouth was closed. That night, he went back to the drive-thru. He needed to see it for himself, to face the place where it happened. He stood by the window, staring into the road, nothing but silence. Then the intercom crackled, breathing, his breath caught in his throat. Slow, hollow, just like before. He didn't speak this time. He just stepped back, his hands trembling. Outside, in the distance, the shape of a car faded into view. Not driving, not moving, just watching. And then it was gone. Tyrell quit the next day. He never returned to that fast food place. He never worked another night shift. But the image haunted him, the woman in the blue sedan, the voice whispering through static, the stare that could pierce through your soul. He researched Lorraine Weller's case. She had worked late nights too. Single mother, tired. She vanished on her way home from work. The official story was an accident, but locals whispered about something else. About how some roads near the river were cursed. How some souls didn't find peace. How their final moments looped like broken film, playing again and again in places where time got stuck. Weeks passed. Then months, But every now and then, someone working a lonely overnight shift on the outskirts of St. Louis would report something strange: a car pulling up with no headlights, no license plate, a woman who didn't blink, and always just before she drove off, she whispered the same thing: "You're not supposed to be here." And maybe they weren't, but she was. She always would be.